Hey, everybody. I'm Scotty T, and I have a wonderful comedian named Steff K. Steff K is with me today, and she's already fighting with me. Turn it around. Just stop it. Just stop it, Steff. How are you? It's nice to have you here.
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
I feel like a woodpecker in a lumber yard. That's how I feel.
Woo!
I'm a little
That's
giddy.
good.
You share that Pittsburgh Steelers thing. My God, you have no idea how bad that bothers me.
Who's your team?
Don't get started.
What?
Let's
Wait, you know what? We haven't had
I'm an Eagles
football.
fan. I'm an Eagles fan. I live in
Oh God!
Pennsylvania.
Oh God! Come on, there's
And
room in
no, the
your heart for
Steelers,
two
don't
Pennsylvania
listen.
teams.
God, Jesus, they're stifle.
There's room in your heart for two Pennsylvania
God,
teams.
Jesus, listen there, Edith. When I was a boy, everybody was an American.
Ah,
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, is that right?
yes.
Were you born and raised there?
No, no, no. I was actually born outside Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. That's what I thought.
So, I was raised. I'm an OG Pittsburgh fan. So,
Oh, good Lord. All fair, I'll tell you why. Pittsburgh Steelers, you just have no idea. Those, Jesus, every time you do it, it's like sticking a knife in my Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, the Immaculate Reception. I was on the losing end. Kenny Stabler and the Oakland Raiders was my team.
you guys have had your fair share of wins lately. So,
Well, I'm
get
an
over
Eagles
it,
fan
Scott.
now. I'm an Eagles. Let's get this thing going back to you, darling. When did you start doing comedy?
Officially, my first public performance was April 2022.
Okay.
So just over 3 years.
Okay. And was there a catalyst? Was there something that said, Steph, go do comedy?
Well,
I mean, it doesn't have to be. I'm
no,
always, that's a
no, my
question I always
husband,
ask.
my husband had told me I met my husband like 9 years ago, and he
Okay.
told me a year or two into our relationship that I was literally one of the funniest people that
Yeah.
he'd ever met.
Okay.
And he's a black guy, so their their bar is pretty high. You gotta be funny to make them laugh. So I took that as that I was pretty funny. And I wrote jokes here and there, but uh, New Year's Day of 2022, we were talking about New Year's resolutions,
Yeah.
and I said maybe I'll do a couple open mics that maybe this year, and
Okay.
then I started researching, and I found there were classes you could take.
Okay.
So I actually took a class at Helium Comedy Club in Philly,
I know it.
um, and that was I've
That
never
was the
stopped since
catalyst.
then. Yeah.
And I hate to interject, but you mentioned your husband's black. My sister's married to a black man.
Okay.
And it's, that there's definitely, when you said you have to hold the bar high, I believe also you're in the army. You were in the army at one
I
point.
was. I was. Yep.
How was that?
90.
Can you talk about that one for a second?
Yeah. When I talk about it, a friend of mine's like, Steph, you make it sound like you should be a poster child for the military because I had a great time. I was 20,
Okay.
got out when I was 24.
Okay.
I was kind of like just doing nothing with my life. I was really smart in high school, screwed around after I graduated,
Okay.
and then I actually ended up. My uncle was in the military; he's an officer. I enlisted, and I honestly think that was kind of like my college days because I did a lot of partying from 20 to 24.
Okay.
Got it out of my system, and
I
when I
see.
came out 4 years later, I was 24, more mature, more, just so I settled
Okay.
down, started college right away.
All
So
right.
I had a good time.
Yeah, my nephew went in, and it's probably the best thing that ever happened to him. Oh, Jesus God. Every time I see that cup, you have to stop drinking for God's sakes. Um,
What am I going to do
Congratulations.
without my midday
No,
bourbon?
stop it. Stop it. You see me turn away, I cringe. Congratulations again. I look at your Facebook and I'm going to put all the links to all your Instagram,
Oh,
Facebook, TikTok, whatever you have. Congratulations hitting 1,000 subscribers on Instagram.
thanks. I know it doesn't seem like lots of people with like
No,
hundreds of
it's a
thousands
lot.
and millions, but it took especially December 2023, somehow Instagram decided I did some kind of violation,
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's that's what I wanted to
they
touch on.
they suspended my account, but I couldn't figure out how to like they're like you can appeal it, but I couldn't figure out how to get in touch with anybody. So I ended up having to make a new Instagram
Yeah,
account in
that's what I
December
was
20.
wondering.
Yeah,
I'm
so
laughing. I'm laughing because I got kicked off Facebook 9 times in 1 year. I got kicked off YouTube for 3 days, then for 7 days. And just about 2 weeks ago, Facebook kicked me off for 3 days, and Instagram said no money, demonetized me till July. And
yeah,
you're
so
right. There's nobody you can contact. There's nothing. There's literally nothing you can do.
yeah. Hey, are my glasses the glare? Is that annoying?
Just stop it. You think I'm going to help you, damn Steelers fan? Uh, comedians in it's maybe a little bit. They're
I'll
okay.
take them off. No, I mean, because if there's a
No,
glare, I don't want it
but
to.
listen, this is all about you. It's your comedy minute.
That's all right.
Comedians, comedians that inspired you, and comedians that you like now.
Whew,
I know you're
comedians
from
that
Pittsburgh. I can go slow. I can comedians that inspired you. Go ahead.
um comedians actually she's not nationally known, but she's my mentor. She's my comedy mentor. Her name is Belinda Clear. Actually,
Oh,
you
Belinda,
interviewed
I've
her.
had her on the show.
Yeah, you interviewed her, I think.
She's a riot.
Really,
She's a
yeah,
riot. I love Belinda.
she's my mentor. So um she would tell you a funny story about how I stalked her. Um when
Go
I
ahead. You give me
when I
your version, and then we'll get her back on. Go ahead. Give me your
when
version.
I when I she was performing on a show that was within an hour of my house, and I wanted, she's a female comedian. She's all about, promoting female.
Yep.
So they had a show with an open mic after, and I went to the show. I knew the guy who produced the show. Went
Right.
to the show, talked to her after the show. I said, "Hey, I'm doing an open mic after the show. Do you want to stay and just watch? Just." And she was going to California the next day, and she's like, I really don't have a ton of time, but I was like the second or third comedian. In her version, I'm like the 25th comedian, but I was
Just to stick
I was
around.
like the second or third. So she stayed, and that was like August of 20. That was 6 months after I started comedy.
Okay.
So um going on 3 years. She's been, my mentor,
She's
and
absolutely wonderful. She's
yeah,
been,
her story's great. She's a wonder.
yeah,
She's a great person. Um, she tells
she
it
really
like it
is.
is.
Really is.
Not that I'm talking. Oh, hold on. I don't want to promote her. Hold on.
No,
This is
no, no.
about
Enough
me.
about her.
But I'm just
She's
kidding. No.
already.
So she's very inspiring because she's started and stopped comedy a few times.
What
So,
about?
but she's
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
but
Were
she's a
there other?
great comedian. She's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
who do I like comedy wise?
You like you? Are there other comedians now that you like?
Oh, I love Joe Coy.
Yeah, Joe Coy. Okay.
Joe Coy is awesome. Bill Burr. I've been a big fan
Sure.
of Bill Burr's for a
Yeah.
long time.
Okay.
I saw Bill Burr. Me and my husband went to Atlantic City to see Bill Burr like 2 years ago. Great show.
Yeah.
Um,
That's good. That's
Bill
good.
Burr. Yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah, I
Okay.
love them.
I was just wondering again. Now I went through whenever I do one of these. Oh, stop with that goddamn cup. See, I write down a lot of stuff, and I think it was an Instagram post or TikTok. One of them. You made a New Year's resolution this year. Just wondering how that's going for you.
Well,
You
surprise.
know what I'm talking about? You want to tell the people
Yeah.
about that?
Crazy enough, tomorrow my 27-year-old is moving out of the house.
Oh my God. Well, tell them the backstory. Your New
Okay,
Year's, tell
so
them what your New Year's resolution was.
my New Year's resolution was to have my kids move out of my house
And get
so
your
my
husband to
husband
marry and
would
get your,
move in.
yeah, right, right.
So it just, he's 27. He somehow managed to, he bought a dog like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I didn't know. So one day I just came and
So now he just shows up at the house with a dog.
yeah, but no, I didn't even know it. I walked down the
That's what I'm
hallway and
saying. Yeah.
they're laughing. And I walk in this door and I see this little dog face pop out of the covers. And I'm like, and he had asked me a time or two if he could get a dog. I said, no, we have 2 dogs. We're good. And then within a month or two,
All of a sudden, there's the
he
dog.
moved his girlfriend in. And I had no idea about that either.
Oh,
I just thought she was hanging out at the house a lot, helping out with the dog. But no, unbeknownst to me, and it was my husband that had to go, Steff, did Lena move in and we don't know it? I was like, I don't know. So they're actually moving out
they're
tomorrow.
moving out. What does that mean?
Him, his
There's one
girlfriend, and the
left.
dog.
There's
My
one left.
my daughter's 21, my son's 19, so they're still here.
Okay. All right. So we're still hope for New Year's resolution. I
They'll be
also
here the rest of the
believe
year.
that you're a nurse or was a nurse. Is that right?
I am still a nurse. I still have
Okay.
my day job.
Yeah. And one of the things I saw was you don't, because of HIPAA and stuff, you don't name names, but one you gave DOB and it wasn't for date of birth.
No, it was dumb old bitch. Yeah.
That's DOB down in 2B. Well, I guess the reason I took a roundabout way getting there, but I bet you get a lot of material and you don't have to use names. Do you get some stories there being a nurse?
Oh, I have one recent story, but it's too recent to it's too recent to talk about because
Yeah.
I got in trouble at work for making a joke that the
Did
patient
you?
didn't appreciate. So I have a bit about that in the works. So
All right. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
my sister does. She's a, and I again, I have to be very careful. She works with people, and there are some malcontents and some, definitely some. And she will occasionally share a story with me, and I'm like, oh my God.
Hmm.
Yeah. She actually got in trouble.
Oh, did she?
No, no,
Oh,
well, no.
me.
If I keep
I
talking, my sister
well.
will.
Oh yeah. No, I kind of did. It was an all around bad experience for the patient. Just and there was multiple, many layers of it. So, but
Yeah. So in other words,
I don't.
Scott, move on.
Yeah, for now. When I give up my day job, then I can
Then
talk
you can
about it
then you
more.
can unleash your. Are you keeping notes of some of the patients?
Oh, they're all here.
Oh, okay, good, good. Do
I
you
have a
have
good
a
memory.
favorite in the 3 years plus that you've done it? Do you have a favorite show that you've done? And then the follow-up question, a least favorite show.
Oh, ah,
Do favorite show first. Do one where that you just sticks in your mind. You had a great
yeah,
time.
no. I did a show in Philly, back in January,
Where
and
Philadelphia? Did you say?
Philly, yeah, not this, not Pittsburgh,
Yeah, of
Philly.
course not in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, they don't. They don't
Um,
do comedy in Pittsburgh. Is right. Hate fucking Pittsburgh. Hate fucking.
yeah, it was called Lady Laughs in Philly, and it promotes like an all women lineup.
Okay.
Um, and they have showcases monthly. And I was on the show, and just from the minute I walked on stage till the minute I was done, it was just like
Magical.
it was it was one of those times where like they just and it was weird because everybody on the lineup was either a lesbian, transgender, and I was that's what they promote, that's what they're all about,
All
and I
right.
was
All
the
right.
only straight white one. Like there was one other white female comedian, but she was a lesbian.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure, being a normal,
Great. Yeah,
if they were
normal,
gonna,
normal. You better watch it. You're gonna get canceled.
I know that's all right. I've almost been canceled, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
got
joking
you.
about that. But if I didn't have any, anything, in society's eyes, I'm boring. I'm vanilla. You know what I mean? I'm vanilla.
Yeah, I get it.
Um,
But so
but
that one was killer.
yeah, it was great. The crowd, it was great. I remember I was wearing high heels and my feet were hurting, so I actually sat down, and that's the first time I'd ever sat, like,
Yeah.
I guess I felt so comfortable that I sat down
Yeah.
and I just did my bits and my jokes, and it was just, and this is, I'm exaggerating to the 100th degree, but it literally felt like how I would picture Dave Chappelle just
Yeah.
sitting,
No, I get it.
smoking a cigarette,
Yeah.
and everybody was just like watching every word. And I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
I
that
just
was
had a
great.
comedian on that I just aired last night or I think it was last night or whatever, that she talked about that she played off of the person, goddamn
Yeah.
cop, the person that introduced her, and from the time she played into that joke and she just rolled right through, and it was one of the best shows she ever had.
It was great because I walked up on stage and I was like, man, I said and I was the oldest one. I
Right.
said, well, it's the old lady's turn. And I said, I realized I'm the only straight. I said, where are my straights at? I said, I'm the only straight person on this lineup. I said, that makes me your DEI hire for the night. And
That's
they
good.
loved it. And so it just, from then on,
Yeah.
every one of my bits just was just
Okay.
great from start to finish. And so yeah, it was great.
How about least favorite show?
Ah, I bombed last year. It was a and the thing is, I've been doing comedy for
Three or
little
four
like
years now, right?
little over, well, last year at that time I'd been doing comedy for 2 years,
Okay.
and I'd never had a set where I considered no where I had bombed.
Okay.
So, and I'm like, and I know I shouldn't do this, but pretty much every show I do before I go on, I'm like, okay, just calm down. And this could be the show where you bomb. And everyone's like, don't ever do that. But I'm like, you know what? I don't ever want to get so cocky that
Okay.
if I bomb, it's going to be a shock to me. So I only was doing a 5 minute set at a comedy club I'd been to multiple times, and it was a guest spot, and they wanted me to be like clean. So
Like
I,
clean.
yeah. So I did a bit that I was pretty familiar with, but had never done it on its own. And for some reason, even me saying I'm an Army veteran and stuff, that, sometimes crowds like that.
Yeah, well, it
But
should get you the.
even
Yeah, go ahead.
even that, it just was not good. And I remember driving home, I was crying, and I'm like, you're such a sissy. But it was, and then the next day I was talking to a couple different people, telling them the bit, and they laughed their asses off. And I'm like, okay, well,
Do you mind doing it? Can you do
mm,
it?
well, it's not gonna bomb. I'm not gonna bomb now,
Well,
and it's changed.
no. I
I'll give
just
you
do a bit. Just do any bit. Do any bit. Any bit you want. Do a bit.
okay. So I recently turned 50.
Okay.
I forget how many weeks ago. Let's see. 162 weeks ago I turned 50. And I thought I was gonna, like, my world was gonna change magically when I turned 50. I was gonna
Right.
go from being 49 average, wake up the next day 50, just a big old chubby cougar. And like 25-year-old man boys were gonna fall out of the sky. It's Raining Men was gonna play everywhere I went. And a little bit into my 50s, none of that shit has happened yet. I mean, it's raining. It's raining men does play everywhere I go because I have it on repeat on Pandora, you know? And
I
my
don't think
kids are
those are the
like,
men you want anyway. Just my take on it.
and my kids are like, Mom, why are you excited? You're just old now. And I'm like, kids, stupid ass kids. I'm not old. What I am is able to have sex with your father finally and not get pregnant anymore. And
Okay.
you know
Yeah.
what? I know that's mean, Scott, but what's even meaner is that my husband, he's not their father anyway, you know? And it's crazy because I have three white kids and my husband's black and they still can't seem to make the connection.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm an Army veteran. So you know what that means. If they ain't asking, I ain't telling. So that's that. That's one bit.
There you go. That was perfect. Do you also, and again, I'm not sure I'm right about this, do you produce shows as well as,
I do.
perform? Okay. And how is that?
It's been great. There's an American Legion like 10 minutes from
Okay.
my house, and they have a big room that can sit up to like 150.
Okay.
And last year I did two shows. Um, this year, my second show is actually this weekend on
Right.
Mother's
Okay.
Day weekend. Um, and it's been great. I get a lot, I think my first show had the most, probably like 130.
Okay.
And since then it's been around 70,
Do you
like 70, 80. So we'll see how
you
this weekend goes.
do you enjoy, because see now I've had people on producing shows is a whole different thing than when you're actually up performing.
I mean, there's a little more pressure, but
Let
um
me ask you this. Do you always perform? Because I think Belinda puts on some shows too, doesn't she?
yeah, but she's usually the host. I know once or
Yeah,
twice she's
that was my
headlined.
question. Do you perform when on these shows as well? Or there are some people that just do the show, produce it, and they just get comedians and they don't actually.
No, the shows that I've done, one show I did like 10 minutes, and then the other shows I hosted.
Okay.
It costs less money then.
Okay, one less comedian to pay.
One less comedian to pay.
Well, and the reason I ask is because I've had people that say that producing shows is such a pain in the butt because of the comedians and the different personalities and that kind of thing. No?
Not for me. I'm pretty yeah, nobody's been really, I mean, I know the comedians that I've booked,
Okay.
and I try to pick, good
Yeah, yeah,
ones.
yeah. People that get along.
So
Sure.
yeah, no, I've never had any drama, knock on wood.
Do
And I
you
don't think I don't think there was going to be any drama this weekend.
good, good. No, I'm sure there's not. It's Mother's Day weekend and I
Yeah.
just met you. For people that don't know, we've never met. I do them this way because I love the spontaneity of it. I didn't know you were a Steelers fan, or I probably wouldn't have had you on. I'm kidding you. I'm just kidding you.
You Eagles fans are such haters.
We are, but we won the Super Bowl, and you were home brushing that too.
That's all right. We won six, so it's okay.
Oh, I know, I know. How many times growing up in Pennsylvania I heard that crap? I'm not sure, but I think you'd also like to try acting. Is that right?
Good. I've done a couple. I've been an extra in I was an extra in an Apple TV movie
Okay.
series. I didn't make the cut. I mean, I was in the scene, but you couldn't see me. Um, I was an extra in a web series on YouTube, but I guess at this point they're trying to sell it to somebody. So I don't that
Hulu
hasn't
or
come out
Tubi or
yet.
one of those, right?
Yeah, they're trying to sell it somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I actually had like a little speaking part in another YouTube series, web series that I think the episode is probably coming out this summer. So,
Okay.
so yeah. I mean, I have no acting. I never took an acting class. I auditioned for a part for like tires on
Yeah, yeah, I know it.
I auditioned for a part on as it was a I don't think I can say. I probably can't even say. So yeah, so I didn't get the part obviously. But I think you have to
That
like
was
sign
that was
like
a
an
lot of
NDA
build
or
up.
something.
That was a lot of build up for nothing.
But you know what I mean? I don't because it's I don't think it's out yet, so I don't even
No, no,
know if
I
you know
fully
you can
get it. I fully get it.
I don't think you can say anything about it. But I
Yeah, no,
auditioned
I
for
get
a
it.
part and I didn't get it.
Yeah,
Oh
it's having
yeah.
some presence on Instagram, having some.
Yes, that's a pain. That's a
Yeah, it
pain.
is.
Because you have to do it. You have to do some kind of video every day. Like TikTok. I'm on TikTok and for a while I was doing, they're like, you got to do a couple videos a day. And I'm like, my God,
Yeah,
I work, I do comedy. I'm not, I'm 53, so it's not like it's in my wheelhouse, just videoing myself all the time.
yeah, right.
So
Well,
that's why
I
probably
guess that answers the question as far as do you enjoy doing the Instagram reels?
you have to. I mean, before I started social stand up, I probably had 200 friends on Facebook and 30 followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
So I wasn't used to, when I told my niece I was going to do stand up, she was like, "But why?" She's like, "You don't even like to be in pictures." Like I was always the picture taker and, you know, being, having yours. I'm very picky. People, a lot of people are like, I don't care what I look like. I'm like, please, before you post a picture of me,
yeah.
run it by me first because,
My sister's the same way.
it's tough because I don't even like, when I record my videos, for shows, I listen more than I watch because I'm like, oh, I look so gross and disgusting
Yeah,
but I have to do it, so
yeah. Well, do you know what? Just take it when this airs back. Just take a good look at me and my teeth, and you'll feel better about yourself.
knock it off. I
No,
didn't notice until you mentioned them, so now I'm going to have a hyper focus on your teeth now.
oh, I got. If you heard in the last 5.5 years, you didn't even bring up the comments that people say on Instagram and some of these places. I have people tell me that I should kill myself and get off the porch.
Really? That's
Oh yeah,
terrible. That's terrible.
it is. You know what? I've watched a lot of comedians. I've had a lot of great comedians on and stuff. When it first started happening, it really bothered me. And now it's like I just laugh at it. I'm like I actually
Well,
reply. I reply, thank you very much. Or when they go, that just sucked. I'm like, thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it.
well, just say, you know what I say? Get over here. Just say thanks for the engagement. Because any comment they make, good or
Oh
bad,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is
I've
going to
learned that
draw
over the years.
attention, is going to
Yeah,
draw
yeah.
attention to it. So I say
Well,
thank you.
listen, I want to make sure we covered everything. I've had a great time. You're a lot of fun.
Oh, so are
I
you.
don't like
Thank
your
you.
cup at all. Your cup absolutely sucks. But before we go, I want to make sure we cover everything that you want to cover. Anything you mentioned a show that's coming up this weekend, but this won't air for a couple of
Yeah.
weeks. So unless they're a time traveler, it probably won't help them. But anything else you got coming up, or again, I'll put the social media links: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. If you create a YouTube channel or whatever, I'll put all the links to everything. But
Yeah.
just mention anything you want to mention, and then we're gonna do your comedy minute, which hopefully you got a little something for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be in Orlando, Florida,
Oh wow.
June June 25th, doing a
Okay.
show in Orlando. I'm
Cool.
sure I'll be posting about that.
Yeah.
I'm doing Helium, they're Philly's funniest.
Oh
My
cool.
show date is July 20th.
Okay.
Got some other stuff.
Okay.
I'm excited because from now till November, except October, I already have a show booked for each month.
Cool.
So from now till November,
Well,
I have a
cool.
show.
And
So, and that's
if you had a good time, you can come back and see me back in November or December, around Christmas, and we'll
heck
check in
yeah.
football season.
Yeah, you should do it.
We'll
You
see how
should
your
do it because
Steelers are doing. We'll see. Maybe
what
you're gonna get Aaron Rodgers.
hey, maybe I'll I'll wear a Steelers jersey. Maybe I'll wear.
And maybe that invitation just went out the window.
Well, it's Veterans Month, so I'm a veteran, so maybe do it
Yeah,
in
yeah.
November.
Well, look, let's do it. I'll do a formal introduction, and you got a your comedy minute, whatever you want. Take as long as you want.
Okay.
Steph K, your comedy minute. Go ahead.
All right. Thanks, Scott. So I was on a plane going to basic training, back a long time ago.
Right?
And I wasn't the smartest person, when I was 20. I
Okay.
sat next to this guy on the plane. We talked for 4 hours. I was on my way to Texas. He was going, his family was in Colorado skiing and he was going to meet him out there.
Okay.
And it was we had a nice conversation. He was cute. My brain malfunctioned. So I really don't remember exactly what he said except for Colorado.
Right.
So I wanted him to remember me when I got off the plane because, he made an impact on me. So when I was getting off my stop, I looked over at him and I said, "Hey, don't forget me and break a leg. Don't break a leg, because I said finger guns showed how cool I was back in the day." He looked at me and he goes, "I sure hope not. Because in case you haven't noticed, I only have one fucking leg." Yeah. 4 hours on a plane next to this guy. I never noticed he had one leg. I mean, I remember thinking to myself, I don't remember paying more for all this extra leg room, you know? But what I said to him was, "Oh my God, where's your leg? I thought Spirit Airlines only lost bags." So,
Oh my God.
so that's partially embellished, but a true
No, I,
story.
I, you had me at the jump, man. Then you had to go because I didn't know if we were going down Colorado or what was, and he was missing a leg.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I
so
actually
now
remember
I'm gonna
my,
guess. I'm gonna guess, Steph. At least that part's true.
yeah, the part about me saying don't break a leg is true. And honestly, there's part of me that would love to somehow find out who was on a plane flying to Colorado back in 1992 with one
You
leg.
want to try and
I
find
would
out?
love to find out who I sat next
That
to
was a
on
great
that
story.
plane because that would be crazy. I
That
remember
was
thinking I was going to send it in. Remember Reader's Digest?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember thinking I was going to submit that story because but now it's kind of one of a military bit I'm working on for right
I
now.
love it. I love it. That was fantastic.
So,
Um, Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
oh no, it was
I
great.
had a
Thank you for
wonderful
having me.
time. I hope you did too.
It was
And
great.